We've all been hurt at some point, even abandoned. Many of us have done the hurting ourselves. We get to the point where we don't trust anyone, nor do we feel worthy of being loved by anyone. Then there's that one person who just doesn't give up on loving you. Their love is unconditional. Their love stays long enough for you to heal. And then they promise to never leave. That's love you can count on. God's love.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. David Evans from the PIC TV network. We are here on our News World channel, and we're so happy today for all of you who are watching and our social media audience all over the world. We are so happy again for those who are watching with us through our PIC TV network audience, and we're excited for your support and your help. Bring somebody in. We see our viewership is popping up now. I can see the numbers escalating and people coming in. And we're excited for all of you. I have some people who are part of the PIC TV network team, business teams on. We also are happy to beam this from New York with Patricia all the way to Atlanta, Georgia with our PR person in the form of Michelle Cox, all the way from DMV, Maryland with Ian Campbell. He's here today. He is one of our co-creators and also our business coach. And also we have one of our business managers on, Damian Fair, and I'm Dr. Evans. Push that watch party button, push that share button, bring somebody in on our broadcast today. We're going to talk about a big subject that everybody needs to know more about, and that is eating healthy foods for life. We are living in the world today where we are consumed by so many fast food places. And many of you, like me, I grew up eating French fries every day, hamburgers every day, and things that were not good for my body, And now that I'm older, just celebrating my birthday, I'm in a position now I cannot eat the things I used to eat because my body has changed. And we want to, educate our audience today on eating healthy foods. But I want to open up and I want to talk to Michelle from Atlanta, Georgia. Last time we were on this subject, you said there were food deserts. You was talking about in the African-American communities, why is there so many fast food places? We're not going to say names of carryouts or restaurants due to safety reasons, but why is that more so in our African-American community, Michelle?
Well, you have to think about it. The one thing about African-Americans, and the one thing we've been pushed to be, is consumers. And as consumers, we don't get the choices that we need to stay healthy. Also, you have to think about the stigma that has been placed on African Americans as far as what they think we want to eat. It's just like saying soul food or fried chicken or hamburgers or French fries or hot dogs is a staple. And that's not true. A lot of African Americans, especially when I was growing up, we grew up around farming communities. And so we always ate fruits and vegetables. But as we migrated into cities and there wasn't farms, and then you got poor areas that couldn't afford to have these places, or they weren't owning their own businesses. But just before we get into that, let's talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. And all these black towns that were wealthy at the time. There was quite a few of them. Before there were all these food deserts and these poor areas, we had affluent areas, but they got burned down. And so the people that were the status quo started bringing in and pushing this unhealthy lifestyle on us, not so much by our choice, but by what was there. And if you can't afford to move, or you didn't drive, or you just weren't financially capable, you ended up eating off the value price menus, and you're making poor choices. That's just the bottom line of it. And that's why there's all these food deserts. But now, as people reconcile with high blood pressure, diabetes, and these other things, we realize we have to take care of ourselves, and we have to use extraordinary measures to get there. And part of that is making sure that our diet is in check. And when I talk about diet, I'm not talking about a fad diet. I'm talking about eating greens and fresh fruit and all kinds of vegetables instead of using salt, because salt is not a seasoning. No matter what anyone tells you, salt is a flavor enhancer, and you only need a little bit to go a long way. But so many foods are over processed with salt, and that leads to hypertension or high blood pressure. Now, Dr. Evans, there are other reasons why there are food deserts. The other one is we're not, or a lot of people, poor people specifically, aren't making a living wage. And so grocery stores, doesn't matter who they are, they do demographics of the community to see if they're going to make enough money to sustain their grocery store on a level that they see fit. That doesn't mean it's good for the community. It's good for the bottom line. That's my 2 cents, and I yield the floor back to you, Dr. Evans.
You know, you said a lot there, and I want Brother Campbell to come in because there's certain foods you don't even allow come in your house, and I want to know why, Brother Campbell. Your wife is a school teacher. You have a son that's there. Why is there certain foods you just don't even bring in the house? Talk about that.
You know, well, thank you, and thank everyone for tuning in. Thank the team for getting on board, and it's always a pleasure to be amongst you guys. Have these conversations. You know, I grew up in Jamaica in the West Indies, so having access to fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, growing your own food, it was normal to me. And you know, if you look at immigrants, when they come to the United States, they're usually pretty slim. People would say they're because they're malnourished, but no, they eat healthy. They walk a lot. They're much more physically toned than the folks here because they have a more active lifestyle. Once they get here, they start eating fast food. They start eating out of cans. They start eating foods with a lot much more preservatives in it. And within 3 or 4 years, their weight pretty much almost doubled. You know, they gained a lot more weight because of how their eating habits have changed and they're here. So one of the things that we do is I've looked at a couple documentaries. I'm sure you've seen some YouTube videos of a couple that's been married 70 years, and usually it's the wife that have a garden. They eat green and fresh. Everything that she eats is grown outside. And usually the man is, eating everything that's been purchased from the grocery store in the cans and fast food. So he normally looks like he's about 30, 40, 50 years older than the woman. And he's on all kind of prescription medication and things of that sort. The woman usually looks about 30, 40 years old, but she's 70, 80. Healthy and eating clean, eating green. So it doesn't take a rocket science for me to figure that out, that I'm doing something wrong and I'm not going to continue going down that road. So I do my best to eat as healthy as possible. It's a working process, and take vitamins and eat fresh, because for one, I want to be around for as long as I can. People are living longer, but the quality of life that we're living is not the best. You know, we just saw the survivor from the Tulsa riots. She's 107 years old, and she's testifying before Congress. She's sharp as a whip, 107. So we need to do some things differently than what we used to do, so we can actually live healthy, beneficial, profitable, and successful lives. Just because we're cleaner in our minds, cleaner in our bodies, exercise, walk. Do not sit at the desk for 18 hours a day. Get up, walk around, take a walk outside, get some sunshine, eat some fresh fruits and vegetables, and you don't have to eat the entire 4-piece. You don't have to eat the entire 3-piece. You just need to take some vegetables and several times a day. Be healthy, be green, drink water and juice, and our lifestyle will become better. Our health will improve, and our bodies will be able to produce and do the things that we need to do for a longer period of time.
Yeah, that's so important. I'm glad you answered that. It's so important for us to go back to basics. When we grew up, my father used to raise his own fruits and vegetables. I can remember Dad back in the 70s and 80s. He had his own greens in the backyard, string beans, organic. That's what I grew up eating. So there was not a lot of chemical foods that we had like today. It's a reason, Patricia from New York, who's on with us. There's so many sick people are sick. The food, the air, the water. How in the world that all of us are sick at the same time because we're eating the same food? Come on, Patricia, talk to us for a minute.
Well, I just want to go back to what Michelle was saying about, the food deserts. And I got to be honest, like, it upsets me to know that, like, that mindset of, like, why certain areas have so much fast food, like, literally, like, 3 next to each other. And then there's other areas that, I hate to say it, but it's really predominantly, different. It's definitely like white. I'm just gonna say it. And in fact, some of these towns that I live near, near enough anyway, that there's actually, you can't find a fast food in sight. They're actually not even allowed to have fast food in their towns. So it doesn't make any sense to me, like that mindset. Again, like some people, maybe a fast food once in a blue moon when you're on the go. Listen, everything is in moderation. I'm not condoning fast food, but I'm saying, like, it's not the end of the world if you're on the run and you have like one quick fast food once in a blue moon. But to make it a lifestyle of, like, this is what my regular food is, that's definitely not good. And it does annoy me that it's in certain areas. I'm Spanish, so I get a little offended. I'm sorry, because the areas that have predominantly Spanish people, that's what I'm seeing, and it really annoys me. I'm like, I don't understand it. But yeah, I totally agree that there definitely has to be raising awareness. I think that's how it begins. And there really is no excuse. There really isn't no excuse. So I'm all into, a healthy lifestyle and raising awareness. So, I'll join anybody that wants to do that mission with me. I'm done.
Appreciate your input. When we're talking about eating healthy foods for life. When I was growing up, I had 16 cavities in my mouth because I ate Now Laters every day, Almond Joys every day. I ate every candy that was out there, Nutty Buddies, us potato chips, barbecue potato chips. And my teeth was just rotting out, 16 cavities. And I wasn't even 12 years old because that's all I saw. Now, as I grew older, I can't do that anymore. I learned fast that I have to take care of my health. And I wanted you to talk, Brother Campbell, again before we get into our other sister who's on. How is it's so important for you to protect my godson, man? He's only like, 5, 7 years old. And to preserve his teeth for life. Talk about that, Mr. Campbell.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Doc, because I have never given him, and I've never given him a lot of candy because, for one, he's 6 years old. He don't need it. That boy is full of energy. So to add fuel to that fire, I'm torturing myself. So I don't do that. So when people give him candy, he actually brings the bag to me and it's like, hey, what can I eat out of this? He might give him a couple pieces, but the rest of it, we get rid of it. He doesn't need the candy. And people wonder why their kids can't sit down. I'm telling you, today was one of those days where I'm just like, look, I need for you to sit there and stay focused. He won't stop singing, talking, yelling, screaming, making noise. And people go ahead and say, look, well, get some candy. No, that's the recipe for disaster. I grew up where my aunt, all she did was she sold sweets. That's how I made a living. She had a store. She sold sweets. She was doing this, doing that, baking. So I had the same issue with my teeth. So I'm not going to put him through that. I'm not going to. It's not needed. So giving him healthy snacks, giving him things that are good for him, giving him things that's going to affording the opportunity to not have to go to the dentist, not have to have dentures, fillings, drillings, and all kind of crazy stuff. It's just giving him a fair shot. So there's no need to give children candy. Every now and then, some of these outside running around, if you're going to go to the playground, yes, I can use the candy if he's going to. But it's so rare that he doesn't even need it. He doesn't complain about candy. He doesn't ask for candy. He's like, no. He's like, okay. He's not crying, acting crazy. So we have to just let it make sense. Why would you give your 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old child that's full of energy candy? It just, I'm bothered by it. So when I see people do it, I'm just like, yeah, that's your headache. And they wonder why the kid's not going to sit down and do. They're not going to do it. So I look for healthy snacks, fruit snacks, anything other than just here's a candy bar. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be paying for that 5 years from now when you have to take them to the dentist. 7 years from now, 10 years from now. So why have a mouthful of cavities and a big dental bill when you can just go get an apple? It doesn't make sense. So.
Yeah, I really respect you 1,000,000% for that, because my son Stephen and Amos, they did the same thing. My two sons, I never raised them eating all that candy, and even on today, I bring home an apple pie. My son Amos saying, "Dad, what are you doing with that?" I bring donuts. Dad, no, you can't have that. My son is 27 years old, Amos, and said, "No, we can't have that, Dad." And I really, I've listened to him now. Child should lead them. Come on in. I want you to tell us about how you feel about healthy eating. How is it important for you to realize there's too much sugar in this food, too much fructose, high fructose. There's too much salt in certain foods that are addictive. When you go to certain restaurants, we're not naming them, but we know they sell these hamburgers, and you know what they're filled with processed. The fries or the food is oversaturated with salt. Open air, whether it's the pork, whether it's the beef, whether it's the steak, it's just addictive. And even when we do it, because I'm going to talk about Chinese food for a minute. I used to get all types of Chinese food, from shrimp fried rice to egg rolls to I forgot some of the other name of them. And I always put mumbo sauce on it. I put all of that soy sauce. You know what that does? That's salt on top of salt. You know what that does to my blood pressure? It shoots it up. I never thought in my life that I would have to take blood pressure medicine, and doctor said for the rest of my life, how blood pressure medicine, Dr. Evans, and blood pressure medicine. I said, I'm going to beat this. I'm not going to be a legal drug addict. So I cut back. He said, if you keep doing that, I'll take you off. So come on and talk to us about how you feel about health. You can come in. She got to come off from mute. Yeah, we're waiting for you. We're waiting for you. You got to come off from mute.
Right. Unmute your mic, dear.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Hello. Good evening. Thank you for having me. I did not know that you guys called me. I'm Schubert. So I really enjoy the conversation, the talk that you guys are having in regards to not eating healthy. So yes, we have fast food restaurants because it is much more convenient. It was made for people to eat when you are ordering food, and you're ordering it and you want it right now, because in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes you have to be at work. In the next 10, 15, 20 minutes you're going to do something. So we take advantage of the fast food like it's real food we are eating. Even if we are not in the rush to eat something, we're going in there in the fast food restaurants and we're grabbing it, we're eating our lifestyle. We either have become too occupied to go and cook ourselves, food, real food, so that at home. So we just rather and go to a fast food place, and it's cheaper. And you also recognize that during certain times, difficult times, challenges, when challenges arise, we go ahead and we are ordering fast food. So I don't know if you notice, even in the stock market, I'm sorry, I'm going to go a little bit there. In the stock market, when you're looking at, there's a pandemic happening, something is occurring, we notice the peak in fast food restaurants. We notice the peak in McDonald's and Wendy's, because it is convenient and it's cheaper. So what happens is people who sometimes we have become so into, okay, I am lazy, I came from work, I worked an 8 to 10 hour shift, this is the best I can get right now, because the restaurants are closed at 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 p.m. the latest. So you cannot order and it's going to be much expensive, and you want to bring food for the whole family. So the fast food restaurant was made, I do not have the time and I should go and grab the food, and it should be just maybe once a month, once every 2 months. But how we're doing it, we're creating that lifestyle. We eat in our home, we still did get food from our house to go eat, we take it to work, and we're like, oh, I just feel like taking something, dessert or something. You go and you get an ice cream, then you look at the burger, you smell the burger, and you're saying, okay, I just want to grab a burger, right? So uh, we noticed that. So this is what's happening when you're looking in bigger countries. You find more people who are obese. And when you're looking in developing countries, not that we don't find any obesity, but the food are much more organic. They do not have the help and the tools to create the fat and stuff. So when we go to third world countries, developing countries, we're seeing people who are just less obese, or they're much more into like the natural state of how the body should look like when it should be healthy. However, we should not be looking at, oh, this person looks skinny or this person looks, slim, that they are healthy, because there's something called skinny fat. So some people, they are also eating so much because they're so slim, they're skinny, they want to gain weight. So we need to teach our folks that even if you're skinny, you're so slim, this your body was made that way, thank God. Because what happens is, I've seen this a lot with people who are skinny. They're like, okay, I want to eat everything I do, I still remain skinny, I don't get it. So they're eating all the kinds of fat that they can harbor inside of them, because they want to uh, uh, have that lifestyle of becoming a little bit bigger. So Either they want, a bigger size of a thigh, hips, so they are eating much more. But what they're not getting is, even though you're not getting bigger, but there's something called skinny fat, because you are harboring that fat that is going on your chest. It's sitting there, it's going inside the blood veins. And you can have cholesterol even though you're skinny. You can have blood cholesterol problem, about having a high blood sugar, or blood pressure. So this is what's happening in today's world. We should be happy with our body, that though we are skinny, that most people, they don't know what they would give to become skinny, to become small. So don't keep trying to eat all the non-healthy foods just so you can get a little bit bigger, because now you're seeing, okay, my goodness, this person has a good buttocks. Oh my goodness, I want to have that same butt. Oh my goodness, this is what's happening right now. So it's pushing even those who could have been healthy to look less healthier.
Yeah, you're 100% right. We're gonna take a commercial break and come right back. I want to ask the panel who's on, and those who are watching the PIC TV network. You're watching our news channel right now, our News World channel. We're talking about eating healthy foods for life. I'm going to talk to our panel from New York with Patricia on, all the way to Atlanta, Georgia with Michelle Cox, our PR person, to the DMV area with Mr. Campbell, who's on. These are people from the PIC TV network. And those who are watching right now, you can send some chats in. I see your chats in. I see people coming in from our audience on social media, Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. And the PIC TV network, we on literally around the world. I'm going to ask the panel, is it out of control? This fast-paced world that we're living in today, are we in a race towards the end because of is the food running out? Is that why we got so much going on now? Eating healthy foods for life. We're gonna come right back right after this. Hey, thank you everybody for watching our PIC TV network. Those who are watching our news channel, our PIC TV network news channel. We're excited for you being on with us today. We are beaming this presentation from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., all the way to Atlanta, Georgia, to New York, and all across the world on the PIC TV network. I want to bring back in Michelle, and then I want to bring it back to Patricia from New York. Michelle, we talked about artificial intelligence. I was on Clubhouse, and there were some people talking about how the food is we may have robots. We may have a kiosk where you order your stuff, where we don't processed already. Michelle, is it out of control? Let's just be real, Michelle. Injecting foods, grapefruits, oranges that looks like grapefruits, and apples bigger than our heads. Is it out of control, Michelle?
Well, let's think about it. Already reminded us we were into this whole fast food or into convenience. So it started with vending machines. I don't know if you remember the vending machines back in the 60s and 70s. You put in your coins and you go and you get a processed sandwich, or you get a bag of chips, or you get a soda. So that already started that wave of convenience if you were at your job and you wanted to pick up something. Now we have more processing of food. Again, it's the convenience model, because we've gotten so fast paced that we've forgotten how to fix our meals and plan and do these things that require a little bit more effort. So now we have to look at that. And anytime somebody starts to process or make a process, there's automation, because anytime you're talking about business, and we should look at businesses as they like to be looked at, as personal entities, but businesses aren't always good citizens. They are there for their bottom line. And bottom line means they have to automate the process in order for them to be more financially solvent and to make money. So I remember working in the fast food industry as I was in college, and we actually used to get a lot of fresh vegetables, and the meats were sourced sustainably. Now things are changing. When you used to have a guy back down the grill that might be flipping a burger or whatever, now they have burger presses. They just bring them through, and so they're automating. But they're automating because, number one, as they program us as people to say, hey, you want a burger, it looks delicious, or you like some fries, they taste great, we've fallen into the trap of we think we need the convenience. The more we go, the more automated the process. And eventually, of course, they're going to take some of the human factor out of it. Doesn't mean it's out of control. It's only out of control if you keep doing this. And we do mindless eating. We have to be the conscious consumer. And the conscious consumer means we have to, number one, buy fruits and vegetables in season, know where our fruits and vegetables are sourced. Also, having fresh caught salmon, wild caught salmon, not farm raised, because farm raised fishes and seafood, they add dyes and chemicals. But again, we have to be conscious about what we put in our bodies. That is up to each and every one of us. And sometimes we have to go the extra mile to skip by those fast food restaurants and fast food joints and go and pick up fresh fruits, vegetables, and spend 20, 30 minutes in preparation. Now, a lot of the best fruits and vegetables, you can eat them without being prepared. A good string bean, you can eat it right off the vine, raw. It's good for you, has great calories. Spinach, You only have to cook it mildly, just enough to bring up the nutrients because it's nutrient dense. Broccoli, cauliflower can be eaten without being processed. You got, and we're not talking about iceberg lettuce because iceberg lettuce isn't nutrient dense, but you have romaine, butter lettuce, red leaf lettuce. You have arugula, spring mix, all kinds of other lettuces that you can eat. Cucumbers, great for digestion, and they help keep your intestines clean. You should be eating those things. Again, the other part of it is if you go out to restaurants, people don't realize restaurants, the portions that they give you are oversized because we've become an oversized community. And part of that being oversized is that portion that you get is actually 3 portions. Like my mom said, and my mom was a nurse, your meal should be the size of your palm. That's what you should be eating. And you should eat these small meals because it'll help your stomach to digest them much, much better. The other part of it is we don't slow down and chew our food. It's just like a lot of times when we talk, we don't even take the time to take a breath and breathe. So is automation out of control? No, sometimes the onus is on us. And we have to be conscious about how we treat our body and how we're going to take this body that we're given and go into the next century. Dr. Evans, back to you, and I concede the floor.
Yeah, that was awesome information. And when I look at the area that we talked about in Atlanta, that's where Michelle is from, in the community that she is in down in Atlanta. And we know there's a lot of people who are just in a situation where they got to get whatever they can. But we have to understand that we're putting stuff in our bodies. We're more concerned about what we put in our car. I need hot test, soup unleaded, hot 93 octane. Don't put that regular unleaded. We're more concerned about what we put in our cars than what we do in our bodies. Patricia, how important it is for us to drink water. I haven't drank sodas in about 7 years. I told everybody in the last broadcast, my body feels so much better since I stopped drinking sodas. Michelle, how's it important to be hydrated? It's summertime now. It's going to be hot, even 80, 90 degrees, sometime 100. How is it important to be hydrated? Come on, Patricia.
Well, just think about it. Anything, whether it's your car, your house, your dishes, it's cleaned with water. Okay. And just think about it. Same with plants and animals. The one thing they can't go without is water. So for us, the same thing. Water is cleansing and replenishing. But with that being said, I do want to bring attention to a book that was recently released by Michael Moss, who was a writer for the New York Times, and he wrote the book Hooked, and it talks about all the variables that we're talking here and about all the crazy things that are putting in food now. In fact, I was able to catch him on a live interview, and he did an experiment where he was able to take a Frito, like a Frito-Lay, and light a match to it, and it lit faster than, like, it was like he might as well have been playing with gasoline. The idea of the carcinogenics that are in those chips. And again, he wasn't saying like, okay, like you really should stay away from them, but like, you don't have to beat yourself up if you're at a party and you have a handful of chips. Again, once in a blue moon, it's not going to kill you as long as it's not your regular dietary food. But again, when you see with your own eyes something like this, it really makes you look at things differently. And again, water, it replenishes, it hydrates, it cleans, and really, really, that's just the best way to go. And what could I tell you? Over to you, David.
Yeah, 90%, 75% of our body is made with water. We have to drink water, whether it's alkaline water or, whatever you drink, we got to drink more water. My skin started coming back better. I began to move around more. It made me pee a lot. I had to pee a lot, of course, but I think that's good too. That my kidneys are working. But Brother Cam, I want to bring you back in, man, and talk about the the business side of capitalizing off of certain foods again in our community. When we know it's packed with sugar, we know it's packed with salt. It does not matter because we're getting a dollar bill from it. Like I know, that there's certain restaurants you go in, everything is processed. There's certain food, even soul food places, the string beans are packed with sugar because they would put it right out the can. The mashed potatoes are not real mashed potatoes, powdered mashed potatoes. Even the bread that's made. Is it fair to capitalize off of the money gain versus somebody's life? We're talking about millions and billions of people who are affected by diabetes, cholesterol, or high blood pressure right now because somebody decided to put in there, and it's food a drug. Talk about that, Brother Cameron. I may have you and Michelle to talk about this together. Is food a drug?
That is a very interesting way of asking that question, Doc. America is a capitalist society, and at the end of the day, it's about money. Folks have done the math and figured out that if I put this product out there with this much sugar in it, it's going to get people addicted. We all know that sugar is more addictive than cocaine. So we put the sugar in these products, we get them at a young age. They're going to be addicted to it for life. In addition to that, then we have all these medications that's going to address all the symptoms that they're going to get from having all these unhealthy products in their body. So the business of risk and evaluating, if I sell this product and I sell it for 2-3 years before I get a lawsuit, even if it's a class action lawsuit, I might make $5 billion. So I get a lawsuit and I give up 300, 400 million. It's not a big deal, so it's worth it. Because if 300 people come, get $300 million lawsuit, get them all about, we calculate $1 million each, 35% go to the attorneys, and everybody's going to walk away happy. We still make $2.77 billion in profit. So doing the numbers, that's why folks would rather deal with the lawsuits than the recall. We would rather deal with the lawsuits than deal with a product that is healthy, that's going to make a difference in our lives and our bodies. For one, they say that we're living too long anyway. If people are retiring at 65, living until they're 80, 90 years old, they're doing all they can to control the population, control the growth, and take advantage of the opportunity to less likely to be sued. So deal with it in the back end versus creating a product that's healthy. Is food a drug? Answer that question. It absolutely is. The stuff that they're putting in the products. If you read the back of your the things that you're drinking, the things that you're consuming, read the ingredients in those things, and then go do some research and see what it is, what it does. It is poison. You're basically killing ourselves. Our bodies are not able to process those things that they're putting into our system. It's calcifying our body's ability to break things down. It's making it harder for us to become active, to be physical, to be sharp on our feet. There's more cases of childhood cancer and obesity. That's not normal. So the food that we're consuming is a poison, and it's killing us. And corporations are profiting in the long run because the time it takes for it to manifest in our systems, and the time it takes for us to go do a class action lawsuit, and time it takes to pinpoint that particular item, we're talking about 9, 10, 15, 20 years. So it's less likely that there's going to be any type of real repercussion to the corporation. And in that time period, they'd go with the likelihood of being able to just pay off whatever minimal damages that they're going to do for putting a poisonous product in the market. So we can do better as far as consuming our food. And I think the pandemic was a wake-up call to a lot of people to realize that now that Walmart no longer has any food on the shelves, now that the grocery stores, the Pathmarks, ShopRite, Safeways, all the grocery stores, they don't have food on the shelf, what are they going to do? People realize that they have to figure out a way to grow something in their kitchen, in their house, in their yard, because if anything happens and they can't go to the grocery store to buy food, they're going to starve to death. And so that is one of the things that we're realizing, that we have to now get back to the farm, even though these major farmers were dumping a lot of their food because we had a supply chain issue. But in the communities that we normally live in, it's not available to us. So we have to figure out another way. So thank you very much for that, Doc.
I want to ask the same question before we close out the broadcast to Michelle, and then we go to Pat, and then to the doctor at the end. Michelle, is food a drug? Is it out of control? What do we do when you open up the pantry and that's all you see is canned corn, canned greens, candy yams, and cans, and the butter that we just cook and eat? We don't even think about it. We just cook and eat. Is food a drug, and are we addicted, Michelle?
Well, let's think of it this way. Food can be a drug, but it can be medication. I'm always an advocate for making sure that we make conscious decisions. You have to control what you consume. Ian said it very well. Of course, we live in a capitalist society. As part of that, their bottom line is to make money. But if we don't control and discipline what we eat and what we put in our bodies, we will continue to have high rates of high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, kidney failure, heart disease, all these things that we can mitigate just by planning, strategically planning. And if you cut out literally 2 takeout lunches a week, you will see a drop in your weight. Did you know that if you drank 1 can of soda every day for a year, that you would gain 30 pounds? So if you cut out soda out of your diet, that's a 40-pound reduction in weight that you can see systemically right now. Again, we have to realize, and we have to be in control. Will they feed us food that can be toxic to our bodies? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's your hand and your mouth. So this is the time, and as Dr. Campbell has said, and Dr. Evans has said, we have to be conscious. We have to know what's on the labels, and just because it's convenient doesn't always make it good. Take care of your body, eat fresh fruits and vegetables, drink plenty of water, and you can sustain a healthy lifestyle. Intermittent fasting doesn't hurt us either. You'll be surprised at how much moving just 15 minutes a day extra will do to your body. And I'm not talking about running or calisthenics. I'm just talking about movement. But that is up to you. Everybody, please take care of your health. You don't want to get to the age where not only do you not have teeth, but you also find that your bones are thinning, that your heart doesn't work well, and that your liver won't process toxic foods. Dr. Evans, back to you.
Thank you. We're going to turn it over to Dr. Sobey too. She's also into the medical field. Before we close out, I'm just so happy that we have a network, the PIC TV network, where we can have our own news world information out there to tell the world about how we feel as far as eating healthy foods for life. And so many people all over that are coming in. I got a lot of chats coming in from people all over giving their comments from all the social media platforms. I think it's very important for us to understand that God made us to live a full life. That God specifically, Brother Campbell, when it gets warm like this, he put the water in the watermelons to hydrate us, the plums, the peaches. And when we come on our next segments, we're going to talk about different foods that has the vitamins in it, like the yams, vitamin K, the spinach, vitamin C. And we're going to talk about some of the herbs that Patricia was talking about, and Michelle was talking about different herbs. We're going to deal with that. I think we need to know the labels before we put it in our bodies. As Mr. Campbell was saying, we have to be more conscious for why we're just eating open air food. It's been sitting out there all day. All of us know about COVID-19. What about if the people who fixing it been coughing all day? You'll never know because you're walking in at 4 o'clock. That food was made 10 o'clock in the morning and it's been sitting there all day. Mm-hmm. I'm at the place now. I go in the bathroom in restaurants. The bathroom not clean, I walk out. I look at the food before I eat it. If it don't smell right, I take it back and I say I don't want this. Just because you buy it, that don't mean you have to consume it in your body. It's some of the worst things you can do. You know, test some of this food before you eat it. Dr. Sorby, come on back in and give us some closing comments on how you felt about us eating healthy foods for life subject.
Dr. Sobey, back to you.
See, you have to come off mute. Yeah.
Patricia or Schubert?
Yeah, you on mute. But let me just keep going for a second before we close out tonight. It's so important for us to realize that we have a platform through the PIC TV network where we can tell our story. If you want to be on with us, we'd love for you to be on the news with us. We're connected with TikTok, Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're connected with all the social media platforms, and we have our own network, the PIC TV network. If you'd like to be a part of what we're doing, all you have to do is email the PIC TV network at gmail.com. These are business-minded people who are on today. From Atlanta, Georgia, Michelle Cox, who's our public relations person, to Mr. Campbell, who's our co-founder of PIC. From all the way from New York, we have from Patricia. She has her own business. She'll be talking about that. She's our manager up there. And Dr. Sobey, who's also, will have a television program coming on our network. We have to educate our people. We have to realize that if we don't start spreading positive images and positive information in our world, it's going to continue to be filled with negativity. So that's why we're here on tonight, spreading news on healthy eating, you know, because you are what you eat, you know. I believe you are what you eat. Dr. Sobey, come on back and I see you off now. I see your mic is open. Come on, say something.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to quickly say I am someone who I do drink plenty of water. This is this is what I drink every day. I know it has like the like the juice thing I had on there. Can you guys see it? There you go. That's what I drink. So I am not just talking that we should drink plenty of water. I drink this. I fill this all the way up there and I drink all of it. So it is said that we should, women, if I'm not mistaken, should be drinking 11.5 ounces of water, almost about a gallon. And men should be drinking about 15.5. So it is really not, yeah, 15.5 cups, I'm sorry. So it is great to drink water because it will get all of the toxins out. So it is also great because when you pee, when you go and urinate, you urinate the salt out. You're urinating that because you're drinking plenty of fluid. And not just by that, it helps you with reducing problems for if you were to have kidney stone. It reduces that because some people, just by drinking plenty of water, and they have stone in their kidney, and some of it can be washed away. So by just drinking a lot of water, it not only boosts your energy, it helps decrease the salt intake that you took for the day. And it helps if you were to have any sort of toxins, anything in your body, it washes it out when you urinate. So it helps with bowel movement. So some people, they are constipated. You know, if you're not going to the bathroom, you're not going to the restroom to at least, you know, every other day or every day, you're becoming constipated. And by drinking enough fluid, that can wash away your system, your immune system, and you can go at a regular basis, on a regular basis. So if you find yourself going to the bathroom, having a regular bowel movement at least every day, this is good. You're doing something great. And also when you're eating food, make sure that you can drink the fluid at least 45 minutes after, which helps. And if you can drink a hot fluid, like it can be a hot water, it can be hot tea, and it does not have that much sugar in there, it is great. It is awesome. Because what happens is it will help masticate the food inside your body. It will help break it down easier and faster, quicker. And also it helps with the cholesterol. It helps with the grease that you just consumed when you drink that warm, tepid, or hot water right after a hot tea. Yeah. So it's really good. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dr. Evans.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, when I hear you guys talk about these subjects today, it's just so great because we need this. This is what this is how the change is going to take place with information like this. This is what the PIC TV network is about. You know, we're not just entertaining you to make you laugh or just to you know, make you dance, but we want to put something in your mind, you know, so you can live a full life. That's what we talk about, eating for life. I can't wait till next week when we talk about eating certain foods that have vitamins in it. God did this in the Garden of Eden. He told us to eat of every tree. It's good. And it was for our life. And they lived. Can you imagine Brother Campbell living 500 years, man?
I'm working on it.
Can you imagine, Michelle? They lived to be 500 years, Noah, and all of them 900 years. Can you guys imagine? The air was fresh, the food was fresh. You know, but I believe there's so many chemicals in what we're eating today. It's just so sad, you know. Injected, the chickens are injected, the beef is injected, and it doesn't matter. And then we're going to talk about again certain restaurants I don't even go to. I mean, my wife bought some chicken last week, put it in the ice box for 3 days. Now I was getting ready to cook it on Sunday. As soon as I opened the pack up, I smelled it. I said, "We're not going to eat this. We're not going to eat this." She said, "I just paid $10 for that. You're just paying $10. Why are you not going to eat that chicken? Cook that chicken." I said, "No, I'm throwing it away. I'm either going to take it back or throw it away, but we're not going to eat it." Because I knew if it smells bad, it is bad. You know, so I'd rather take $10 and give it back than to put it in our bodies and all of us are sick. Something is wrong with this air. Something is wrong with this food. Something is wrong with the water. I just believe that. I believe that, Michelle, that we're living in a time that is out of control. Everything in our world, and we talked about it last time, and I always ask you before we close the show, Michelle, are we going back? Is the world going back to the days that we knew? Come on, Michelle.
Dr. Evans, we are not going back, but we can go forward and we can help each other live healthy lifestyles. That's why we have conversations this way. Now, we can also take control. Taking control means that we are accountable to ourselves. Because at the end of the day, you, one person, can make a difference in your life. If you are doing the things that are required to have a healthy lifestyle, then guess what? Your children will mirror what you do. Your grandchildren will mirror what they do. Your great-grands will mirror what they do. Longevity can be in your future, but accountability and being conscious about what you put in your body. Now, are we going back to the way things were? No, we're not. But we can go forward and we can work to help our communities sustain fresh fruits and vegetables. We can work with farmers to make sure that they can get their crops to these communities. We can work on getting food shares. A food share is where everybody puts in some money. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be $5. And they go to a farmer, and the farmer, because they have that direct cash line, can bring these fruits and vegetables into our community. We all can do something. But going back to the days of old, that's not going to happen. The only other thing you can do is grow some of your own fruits and vegetables, like Ian Campbell said. And having small raised beds and gardens don't hurt. Having a window box with fresh herbs won't hurt. But again, it takes planning and it takes time. Dr. Evans, let's go forward together and live a healthy lifestyle. Back to you, sir.
Thank you. You know, I'm always excited again when we have these news talks. You know, those who are watching all over the world, the numbers are going crazy. People are chatting in all over the place. I can see things that you can't see. We're going to close out this broadcast. It's been great. You guys have done a wonderful job once again. Those who are watching on our PIC TV network, watching live, thank you for tuning in from France, Argentina, Nicaragua, United States, of course, Colombia, Mexico, our new friends in Guatemala, United Kingdom, Germany, Panama, Ireland, Peru, Chile, Canada, wherever you're watching around the world. Thank you for tuning into our news channel. And we want you to know we'll be back on again. We'll be playing this information to share with you around the world. I'm excited again for all of our special panel guests today on our news channel. Brother Campbell, who is again a co-founder of PIC TV Network from the DMV. Also, again, we're happy again for New York being in the house, the Big Apple. Patricia waving everybody all the way to Atlanta. The big ATL is in. today. And our sister Sobe, she's a doctor, she's in. And we'll see you guys on next week. Thank you for your time. And I want our staff to hold on for a minute. We're going to do a little bit after talk after this. We'll be back. Thank you for your time, everybody.
We've all been hurt at some point, even abandoned. Many of us have done the hurting ourselves. We get to the point where we don't trust anyone, nor do we feel worthy of being loved by anyone. Then there's that one person who just doesn't give up on loving you. Their love is unconditional. Their love stays long enough for you to heal. And then they promise to never leave. That's love you can count on. God's love.